Listen up, everyone. They've announced that the technical regulations are changing for next season. Now there's a risk a lot of our hard work could be undone if we're not careful, so let's figure out how to mitigate this. Drivers, take a look at the developments we have and let us know what you want to invest in protecting. Alright everyone, let's get on top of this.
Oh, here we go. Yep, this is it. Right, it's that time of the year. The R&D regulation changes come in, and you can already tell that my team here at Williams is going to be too busy concentrating on next year's Bourbon biscuits and the design of the car to focus on this year's Bourbon biscuits and the design of the car, and it's all going to go terribly wrong. But having said that, guys, welcome back to the F1 Road to Glory series for 2019 for episode number 16 today at the Russian Grand Prix. Last time out, we had a very comical episode, really, because karma was afoot, and it came through very strongly indeed. He's gone through turn one. We've lost the back end. We've lost the car, and that's over. That's Bottas closing in a little bit. No, we've been hit by Bottas. Doesn't mean. Oh, what a shame, Bottas. That's karma, mate. That's karma. It was a tough Grand Prix for us, to be honest, so I'm looking forward to kind of putting that behind us and going forward to Russia. But, of course, with the R&D regulation change now, we have to take a quick look. To be fair, not too bad. The only thing that's going to be reset is the reliability and the durability of the car, which, to be honest, has been a pretty constant of just horrendous for our car the entire season. You know, Claire keeps asking us questions about it. We keep throwing back the same answers. You know, there's no way to hide the fact that our car is pretty much one wind blow away from being just blown down into little bits and particles. You know, I feel like Thanos wouldn't even need to snap his fingers to put us to dust. He could just simply look at our car with a bit of a mean intent, and our car would just explode into dust. So if the Williams car was a hero in the Avengers films, it would have been a pretty horrendous film, to be honest. But like I said, we're going to try and move on from Singapore, and hopefully have Russia be a bit of a better... Oh, flipping hell. Sound cool. It's going to be heavy rain for the race. We failed spectacularly at Singapore with light rain with some dry tyres. This is heavy rain in the race. This race just got a lot longer. It's usually like a 25-minute race for me to record. I feel like it may just feel like 3 hours now. But we're going to have to plow on into qualifying there and get on with the race weekend. There's no point crying over spilt milk like this. But it's nice and sunny here on Saturday. So I'm kind of wondering why, Russia. Why couldn't you just spread this sun onto Sunday, huh? But it's not a great qualifying, to be honest. The car felt abysmal. I don't know what on earth has gone on with this car. It's gotten exponentially better through the mid part this season, and then after like Spa in Italy, this car has just got horrendous, and it feels like an utter boat, which might help us out tomorrow, to be fair, with the rain. But right now, the understeer I got in the last two corners was horrendous. I don't know if I was just overconfident with the car, but Kubica also wasn't much better, and we skated across the line for last place.
It's a bit disappointing, but we just need to push hard in the race and we can still come away with something.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed too, to be honest, engineer. I can't argue with that, because we're second last place and last place. Kubica's beaten me by literally hundredths of a second, but we're off. Well, we're actually level on time with McLaren, so I guess that's not too bad. But again, we've gone backwards. You know, I thought we were gonna, we beat one car the previous race at Hungary, beat another car at Singapore. I thought, the logic would be every single race we'd beat another car. Clearly, that logic's not worked, and I've completely jinxed everything because our car is it's like round one all over again.
You didn't spend much time practicing. Are you saving your car for the main event?
Yeah, Claire, were you not listening for that analogy I made with Thanos and the Avengers earlier? Yeah, that pretty much sums up the reason why we don't bother going out in practice ever.
You left some bodywork out there on the track. Were you struggling for grip?
No, Claire. I wasn't struggling for grip. I actually just wanted to be out there on the AstroTurf in the last two corners. And our car being leaving some bodywork, that's just a natural occurrence. We don't need to even be on track for that to happen.
Appreciate your time.
Now, Claire, I'm only going to tell you this because I care about you. You seem like a lovely woman. I don't appreciate your time ever. Anyways, we're getting on to this race then. You can see it's absolutely pouring down. We're in 19th place though, not last place, because someone, I think Lance Stroll's kindly taken penalty and taking a bullet to the foot, just so we're not so embarrassed here. But to be honest, I don't really know what to expect in this race. This race can either go two ways. I'm going to DNF out of this Grand Prix because, let's face it, it's a Williams car in heavy rain. I mean, we don't even have enough downforce to contend with in the dry. What makes you think we have enough downforce to contend with when there's no grip coming from the tyres mechanically? Or two, it's just going to be rather dull because I'm going to be driving around in last place, unable to probably even keep up with my teammate if qualifying is anything to go by. So yeah, you can tell in my voice I'm really confident, really am. But here we are, sports fans. There's no delaying it. We have to go on. It's signal for heavy rain, but we're all on inters, so that might be actually quite worrying for the lack of grip out there. But here we go then to 5 red lights to this Russian Grand Prix, and that is a really shaky start. Losing the back end already, nearly hitting my teammate, having to let off the throttle to let Lance roll through. And these yellow flags, I can't see anything. And there's been a horrendous crash. Oh my god! There's been a huge collision there into turn 1, and that had signs of that old classic at Spa where the camera just couldn't see through the rain spray. There was so much crashing going on. There's only 10 runners. 10 runners. 10 DNFs into turn 1. What on earth was that start? No, it seems like half the grid didn't want to do the Russian Grand Prix. They have the right idea. Just go out of the Grand Prix if you don't want to do the race. Simple as that. But look at this. Look at the carnage. Oh my god! How? Come on, turn 1's a kink, lads. I know it's raining, but you're not all in Williams cars. You've got some good cars here that'll crash out the GP. Look at the devastation there from a different camera angle. Kubica's been punted into a wall there for good measure. Oh, look at the carnage. That's gonna. I feel like we need to red flag the race, lads. Let's just go home. Let's just go home. Like all that debris, that's gonna take 5 hours to clear. So I think we should all just go home. Go to the local pub, have a pint, let this all blow over, huh? Alas, no. We're under the safety car, and things aren't getting much better actually for me because I lose the back end. Yep, I lose the back end under the safety car. That is how severely lacking of downforce we have in this car, especially on inters in what looks to be a full wet track. Like the indicator had it for full wet. I thought it was going to be full wet, and lo and behold, all of us have gone into inters. I probably should have gone against what engineer was thinking, just gone to the wets, because I feel like for a Williams car at least, it's full wet conditions. But what you're about to see here, ladies and gents, now is the best overtake I have ever made. Forget I've gone wide there. Look at this. On the right-hand side, 2 cars in the pit lane. What a fantastic overtake. 2 places, 1 straight. You've never seen an overtake like that. That might just be the overtake of the season, nay, the entire sport. Let's just take a look at an action replay here. Zooming into the min-map with obviously the light blue arrow, and look at that. We go across in a straight line, and that is actually simply marvellous move. Absolutely amazing. So the safety car comes in. We're in P8 out of 10 runners in this Grand Prix now. We're behind Leclerc. Once again, Leclerc seems to be having some major issues in this Road to Glory series in this season. And so we try our best to stick with them. Already we're losing some time. We're not even passed onto the new lap, basically. The safety car only just probably pulled in to the pit box in the pit lane. And I've lost so much time there. We go through turn 3, and look at this. I can't even go near full throttle. Like, yeah, probably in a top car you have to lift off a little bit, but in the Williams I fully had to let go, and I couldn't still even control the car. The rear end just wanted to step out completely, and that's the normal racing line for the Williams car. I actually was taking those lines in practice. You didn't see it really, but that was the actual predicted line I'll be taking the entire time. But anyway, you're probably thinking, right, Arab, what's the next highlight going to be? Nothing, pretty much. I can't lie. It's nothing. The rest of the race was the loneliest time I've ever had in Formula 1. Rain, more rain, and more rain. However, that is not the end of the race story, because there is one highlight from this race. But it's not a good one. Alright, so here we are, second last lap of the Grand Prix, just chilling, trying to keep this car on the road. It's been a pretty bland GP, but I've just been driving around, making sure I bring home these points, until my engineer says this.
Less than a lap of fuel now, the tank is empty.
Less than a lap of fuel. Now that spooked me straight off the circuit there. I had to cut the corner in such dismal... I had to cut the corner there because I was in such shock, because I opened up my heads-up display, and only now, at the point where pretty much it's near impossible to save enough fuel to rectify the issue, did my engineer bother to even tell me on the radio, oh, you know what, mate, our car is so bad, we've actually run out of fuel in the wet, where you're not even on throttle that much of the time. bad is this car? We now have to do the impossible. I've got a lap and a third left. I've got to somehow keep in 8th gear, short shift my life out, lift and coast, somehow save a whole lap and more of fuel with a lap and more left over for the race left. It's impossible. And I can already tell where this is going. I think you guys can tell where this is going. Yep, I'm now going into low fuel mode, and this is the most embarrassing moment of the series. Lando Norris has just overtaken us there, and I'm going at 140 miles per hour, dropping. Yeah, the car has lost all sense of power. To be honest, the crowd might not be that shocked, because to them, this is how fast the Williams car should be going. I've actually been doing a fantastic job of dragging the car up the order so far. This is the real speed. But no, seriously, this was the most painful lap I've ever done. This is rock bottom. Trundling around in low fuel mode around Russia, knowing that we're going to lose 9th place as well, and we're going to come in P10. Now, P10 still points, fair enough. But when half the grid has DNF'd, you'd like to think that you can maybe do better than P10. But of course, this is Williams, so sadly not.
Great drive, great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
What? We're really happy with that drive. What race did you just watch? In what universe was that a great drive for us?
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Yeah, because half the grid DNF. What on earth have you and Jeff been smoking back in the paddock, Claire, in the back alley? What on earth are you two going on about? That's an embarrassing race for us. Absolutely embarrassing.
You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you?
Yeah, apparently our fuel tank can stop us. That's definitely an immovable object that can't be stopped. Our fuel tank.
How did your team respond to the poor conditions today?
Well, Claire, my team didn't really respond. They sort of just pushed me out there onto the grid, almost like if you put a deer on ice skates and just told it to go and, do the job out on an ice rink. It just wasn't going to go well.
What happened with your fuel strategy today?
Wouldn't you like to know, Claire? Because I would. My team doesn't have that kind of data. It's actually just one guy in the garage that kind of just says, I thought I filled it up, but clearly not.
Appreciate your time.
So there we have it. It's P10. It's still points. We'll still take it. But in a Grand Prix where everyone DNF'd, we should have done better. We got that, what was a sublime double overtake. Of course, you agree with me on the main straight. So we should have kept that position, to be honest. Instead, it's P10. To be fair, Kibitz got P11. That's probably the highest Kibitz has ever got in a Grand Prix this season. So, fair play, lad. But we move outside the top 10 positions now, which is really quite horrendous. Constructors-wise, Toro Rosso overtake us. So that is a double bad reason why this Grand Prix should not be called a success. We're back below Toro Rosso now. We've got to do better. Next time, we've got to jump back. And actually, to be fair, this is how doubly it was a bad Grand Prix for Williams. Because usually, I can always get my contract bonus. I couldn't get the bonus this time because I couldn't get a grand total of 5 points in the Drivers' Championship. 5. I failed to get 5 championship points. The most embarrassing moment of my career.
Great work. That's exactly the kind of result I'm looking for. Keep it up. Great work. That's exactly the kind of result I'm looking for. Keep it up. Great work. That's exactly the kind of result I'm looking for. Keep it up.
I've actually had enough. I've had enough. Emma, Claire and Jeff have clearly just met up somewhere in the paddock. They've done something and their heads have gone because why is everyone so happy with this result? We lost a position in the constructors. In the road to glory, we've gone backwards on the road. We've hit reverse and you're saying you're happy. If anyone's been looking for my sanity, it's outside my window, and I've stomped on it. That's what's happened there. Right, we've negotiated a new contract anyways, and we're going to go ahead and purchase some new upgrades of what we can afford. Obviously, we had to repurchase the drag update last time out, so that was unfortunate. We can't really afford a chassis upgrade, so actually, I can't afford anything, so that's just adding to my misery there. So that's going to be the end of the episode then, guys. If you did enjoy, be sure to hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're on your own, subscribe for weekly full-on content. I've been aarava. I'm just today, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.